Hey film fans, my name is David. This is Film Collector Archive, and today it is episode 8 of the Orbit DVD haul. It's hard to believe we are 8 episodes in on this Orbit DVD haul series. As you know, these haul videos are not a small amount of films. I usually get a good stack going before I film one of these videos, but yes, we are 8 episodes in on this series, and very excited to show you more titles that I picked up from the great Orbit DVD. I just want to give a shout out really quick. This is not going to be part of this haul video, but recently I posted, I was able to order the Bruce Lee at Golden Harvest 4K Arrow video set from them. And as you know, because I have the unboxing video on the channel from the Arrow Video Store exclusive set that came in and got just absolutely beat to crap in transit from the UK here to the States where I live. And yeah, the communication with Arrow Video on that is still ongoing. I haven't heard anything back from them. Hopefully that will be resolved in some way, but I was able to order so that was the store exclusive. I was able to order a copy of the other edition, the red box edition, and it's sitting right over here on my Arrow Video shelf, and it came in pristine condition. This is one of the reasons I buy from Orbit DVD. They are very, very good at what they do. They understand their customer base. They know what we expect. They know how to treat their customers, and that is one reason of many why Orbit DVD, Mark, those guys will continue to receive my business. So thank you very much to Mark and your team on getting me a copy in such great condition. So now we will move in. So that won't be part of this haul video. So let's move into what I have picked up recently. I'm going to try and be a little quicker than I am normally because I just filming these videos, I'm not going to lie, I get gassed pretty well. I'm pretty well gassed by the end of these videos just because you know, there's usually a lot to go over here. So I'm going to try and do maybe not rapid fire. I'll spend some time on some of these sets, but try and get through this sooner rather than later, you know, a little quicker maybe than normal. But let's go ahead. I think I'm going to start off with box sets here. And let's see, kind of move some of this stuff around. Hopefully I don't give you a little peek on camera here by moving my stacks in the wrong place here. But okay, so first up, we are starting with an absolute bang from Arrow Video, who we were just talking about, but Arrow Video through Orbit DVD, which is a great thing. Very excited about this set. I know a lot of people have unboxed this on their channels, but this is the Video Store set, Enter the Video Store Empire of Screams. And I'm sorry, I'll try and do my best to not get glare. I have a lamp kind of right behind the camera. Probably not a great location for the lamp, but yes, Enter the Video Store Empire of Screams. This is a spectacular box set. Such a cool look back to the video store days. That was such a huge part of my childhood. So to have it in this form that pays homage to that era of going to the video store on Friday nights and picking out some movies. And for me, because this is kind of exclusively, you know, horror films in this set, those were the titles that I always wanted to rent so bad, but I knew kind of growing up, you know, those were the nope, can't get those, you know, kind of titles. And so I ended up kind of forging my own you know, film education, film history education. We had cable at home, and so I started kind of perusing through, you know, different channels, trying to find new and you know, kind of grotesque kind of horror films, different things to watch, and kind of that's where I started to get my horror movie education. Anyways, that's what I think of when I think of Blockbuster, but I also think of going and renting some of the great 90s action movies, or some Hitchcocks. That's where I was introduced to Hitchcock, was in the video store era. And I used to work in a video store. I was part of that whole scene, and so the video store era in general is very near and dear to my heart. So I feel like Arrow Video really hit the nail on the head with this one. And we'll definitely be unboxing this on the channel on a separate video. But the films included here are The Dungeon Master, Dolls, Cellar Dweller, Arena, Robot Jocks, and Robot Jocks. And these are all from MGM. So you have the MGM logo on there, Arrow Video, and then a listing of the films. And then just to give you a quick peek, I know you probably can't read that, but there's a lot of extras included here. I mean, just look at this cool box. And I know with this, there's kind of a slip cover that goes over this box, and there's some more art on top. So don't want to give away too much, but I know there's been a lot of unboxings of this on YouTube, so you might have seen one already, but I want to have it documented on this channel as well. So we will be unboxing this here on the channel. And that was not rapid fire, me talking about that. Hopefully these the rest of the stack goes by quicker than that one. Okay, next up, we're going to stick with Arrow Video here. This is part of a continuing series. This is Volume 2, even though it doesn't explicitly state Volume 2. Really anywhere on this box, but this is Volume 2 kind of in this series. And this is Blood Money, 4 classic westerns. This is the limited edition version. So this is a 4-disc set. We have $10,000 Blood Money, Vengeance is Mine, Find a Place to Die, and Metallo, in parentheses, Kill Him. The first set, or first volume, was Vengeance Trails, which also included 4 westerns. And then this is the next set here. I hope this is a continuing series where we see 3, 4, 5 volumes of this, something like that, maybe. But I'm here for it, so I will continue to add these to the collection. Just really cool art here, and lots of supplements included there. And the last Arrow box set, we'll get to some more Arrow stuff later in the haul here, but the last Arrow box set, this is the limited edition 4K release of Robert Eggers' The Lighthouse. This is on 4K. Of course, this stars Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson. Acclaimed director of The Witch. I am an enormous fan of The Witch. It took some time for me to really come around to that film, but I was able to grab the Second Sight 4K box set, which is an absolute work of art. Just the presentation from Second Sight on that one. Very happy to have that on the shelf. And Robert Eggers, I think he's going to be one of those directors where it just takes a little bit of time with his films for them to kind of grow on me. Admittedly, I'm not like a massive fan of The Lighthouse. I've only seen the film once, but the photography, the black and white cinematography is just absolutely gorgeous. This film is bonkers, and it's one that I am very much looking forward to. We get the wonderful Arrow Video treatment with a plethora of supplements here, and the booklet, the Perfect Bound book, poster, the whole deal. So really cool artwork on the cover here. Now, this was a UK release. Something to note is A24, and I'm contemplating whether or not I want to buy this edition as well. I think I most likely will, because it's got some really cool artwork in the book that's included in the A24 exclusive, store exclusive, their 4K version of The Lighthouse. So I think I'll probably pick that one up as well, just because I love the presentation and what's included in the booklet, so the whole set with them is a book, and so the pages in there's just some really great artwork, and I like how they put that together. But I knew for sure I had to have the Arrow Video edition to add over here to the Arrow Video collection. So very excited to revisit this Robert Eggers film, the bonkers The Lighthouse. Okay, next up we have, we're going to go Severin here with this limited edition box set. This has been a theme for me lately. I've really been getting more into Gothic cinema. My friend Daniel Epler over at the Cobwebs channel and podcast, he's a big Gothic guy. I know our mutual friend Nathan Jones, he's a big Gothic guy, kind of likes films down that path. But I have been getting more and more into Gothic cinema and was really excited when this set was announced from Severin. Arrow's been doing some great work. They have the Gothic Fantastico set, which if you're not familiar with and you're interested in Gothic films, definitely look that one up. Vinegar Syndrome is doing some cool Gothic stuff. I recently made my way through one of their Mexican kind of Gothic horror movie sets that was really great. And Severin's in the game here as well with Danza Macabre Volume 1, the Italian Gothic Collection. I'm really pleased that we have a Volume 1 here, which tells us there's going to be more of these coming down the line. So hopefully that is coming soon. But this is a 4-movie set. We have The Monster of the Opera, The Seventh Grave, Scream of the Demon Lover, and Lady Frankenstein. Scream of the Demon Lover. Like, how can you not get excited about that? Love the artwork on this box set. And here we have uncut, 4 Italian Gothic classics, uncut, uncensored, and unsettling. I mean, you've got the skull down here. Like, this is, again, especially as of late, this is just totally my vibe. Getting more and more into Gothic films, and I am here for this. Very excited about this one. Again, Danza Macabre Volume 1 from Severin. Beautiful looking box set there. And next up in the box sets, we have the King of the Mountain, one of the Kings of the Mountain, Second Sight. These guys are just unbeatable. And this is their 4K treatment of a horror film directed by Peter Medic. And this stars the great George C. Scott, a truly fantastic horror film here. This is The Changeling in a really nice, hefty 4K set here. This is a new 4K scan and restoration presented in UHD, in HDR. Really excited to see the presentation here. So this is obviously being Second Sight. This is a UK release. Here in the States, Severin, actually, who we were just talking about, has a release of The Changeling as well on 4K. It's like a slipcover edition. All of the extras, I believe, because I compared them, were ported over, and this does even include the soundtrack CD, which the Severin edition has as well. But just gorgeous, kind of newly commissioned artwork here on the cover, and just the great Second Sight treatment. So very excited to have this one from Second Sight. They've been a big topic for me this year as well. Recently making my way through the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 4K box set, which is just a monumental release this year. I cannot possibly speak enough good words about that release from them. So here very soon we have It Follows coming to 4K. Very excited about that. We have The Hitcher that they're finishing up work on. It's just endless good news with Second Sight. So look forward to their next set of announcements, or their next announcement whenever that comes. I'm always it's always something that I'm looking forward to. So all right, next up we are going to, probably should have kind of reversed the order on these. Next up, a label here that I have not talked about much yet on the channel. This is Radiance, And this is a box set that is getting really stellar reviews from other people in the community. And I'm really excited about this one because I'm a big Franco Nero fan from his work in, spaghetti westerns. But this is Cosa Nostra, and this is 3 films by Damiano Damiani from 1968, 1971, and 1975. Really beautiful box set here. There you can see the films and the book that's included. This is kind of reminiscent of Indicator and kind of how they package, because they're in the Scanovo cases, and then you have the big book that's included. Really like this presentation, and then you have the rigid outer box. The 3 films included here are The Day of the Owl, The Case is Closed, Forget It, and How to Kill a Judge. This is limited to 3,000 copies, so a relatively small print run here. And I bought this off of my love of Frank Nero performances, again, that I've seen in the Italian Western films. Again, over here in the Arrow Video shelf, looking at my release here of Django. But felt really safe blind buying this one. I have not seen any of the 3 films included here, but I very much look forward to watching those sometime soon. Sorry, got to adjust my stacks over here. Okay, next up we are going Vinegar Syndrome. This is an Italian horror film by Lamberto Bava. This is A Blade in the Dark. La Casa con la Scala nel Buio. Might have butchered that, I don't know. But here we have, this is a really cool presentation on this box. So it kind of splits this way, and sorry for the imagery here, and then also in the back. This is really, really cool. So it's like the doorway splitting there, and then you have the knife coming in. I know the rest of the set on the interior, I believe, is maybe a little bit much to show, but just a really cool presentation here from Vinegar Syndrome on A Blade in the Dark. And I will show this. So this is one of those where you have this rigid outer box, and then you have the interior where there's a nice slipcover, and then you have a book included. Vinegar Syndrome, man, do those guys know what they're doing with packaging. It's just incredible to see what comes from them. So looking forward to that one. Okay, next up, one of my favorite labels. This is right there next to Second Sight for me, just one of the best in the business. This is Indicator. And first up, this one gets really high marks from Mark over at Orbit. He was really talking up this collection. Just kind of the fact that he couldn't believe that these films were going to be seeing the light of day and being put out by one of the best in the business, again, Indicator. So this is the presented by Nicholas Winding Refn, the director of Drive, starring Ryan Gosling, if you don't know who Nicholas Winding Refn is. And he's actually done some other work with Indicator. In fact, he presented another film in the collection that I know right off the top of my head, Spring Night, Summer Night, which if you have not seen that film, it comes highly recommended for me personally. But this is From Hollywood to Heaven, the lost and saved films of the Ormond family. So this Mark over at Orbit was talking really highly of this collection. Now, this is a print run of 6,000 units. You can see I have 3,826 of 6,000 here. And it looks like this has 4 films. Please Don't Touch Me, The Exotic Ones. Let's see. Sorry, this other poster back here has a lot of text on it, so I'm not sure which one is the name of the film. I think it's called Blood Will Flow Like Water. And then we have, I guess the name of that is The Second Coming. So it's like so they're like religious. Some of these are kind of like religious films. I don't know. I've done a little bit of research on the Ormond, hope I'm saying that right, Ormond family films, and it seems like they were kind of all over the place. And so, but again, according to Mark, these are like explode your mind kind of bonkers type films. And so I love these hefty sets. So you get the films, and then you get the nice book, and then the lobby cards, and just great presentation here as always from Indicator. The Ormond family films are a complete blind spot to me, so really looking forward to that one. We were talking about Mexican horror films, the set that I had watched through from Vinegar Syndrome, and on that topic we have from Indicator here in another limited edition box set, Mexico Macabre. This is a set of 4 films, again a print run of 6,000 units, unit number 4,511. And the 4 films we have here are Black Pit of Dr. M, The Witch's Mirror, The Brainiac, and The Curse of the Crying Woman. And it's cool here because they have, is that not going to focus? They have the name of each of the films in, the English title, and then they have the Spanish title right below the English title, so that's really cool. And there's the back on that one, and then the same presentation here. So you have each individual film in their cardboard covers, or digipacks, and then the book, and cards in there as well. So really excited to dive in on this Mexican horror. That's been kind of another thing for me recently. A lot of horror, gothic horror, Italian horror. I've always been a big horror fan, but I'm kind of branching out into some different, I guess we'll call them, subgenres, or, work from, more international type horror films, which is great. And the last Indicator set we have to go over here is no exception. This is also an Italian horror film, Giallo. And this is the first 4K set that I have from Indicator, and there's something interesting with this set that I'll share here in just a second. But this is Cold Eyes of Fear. Again, a print run of 6,000 units. I have unit number 4,303. Now, the interesting thing presentation-wise here is how thin this is. So this is in their really nice, rigid box, like so many, the ones we just showed. Those are the rigid box presentations. This is a single film rigid box presentation, and usually they will house these, they'll put the film in a Scanovo case, and so that's a little bit wider. Here they have the cardboard digipack style, and then they have a book included, so they're able to really kind of conserve space and go thinner here. I think it's really cool. I mean, I love their big box sets, don't get me wrong, or the thicker boxes, whatever, but I think this is cool. It's a space saver on the shelf for sure, and you still get that really nice premium feel of the hard, the rigid box. So I think it's cool. And this is in 4K, and again, my first 4K release from Indicator. And yeah, a Giallo 1971, and this is directed by Enzo G. Castellari. That name's familiar. I think I've probably seen some other work from him as well, but can't say for sure. Really cool cover there on that one. So yeah, Cold Eyes of Fear. Just adjust my costume here, my shirt. Okay, two 4K box sets here that I am very excited to have in the collection. These are some all-time favorites. This is one of my all-time favorite comedies, Chevy Chase in National Lampoon's Vacation. This is a 4K box set. Yeah, not Steelbook, but this is the 4K box set, and it's got the kind of the standard case without the slipcover. And this is the UK release. You can see the rating stickers on here. Luckily, these are stickers, so they can come off, but I love the original poster art for Vacation, and so really happy to have that here. And there is the back on that one. So you get a little bit of extras here, but it's a studio release, so it's not, going to be astronomical. And you have the WB, the celebrating 100 years mark there, and no digital code. So the ones coming from the UK don't include digital codes. I don't know exactly why that is. Licensing rights, something down that path. But anyways, no digital code included here, but you do get the 4K and the Blu-ray, so it's a nice dual format edition for you here. And the other, one of my favorite films of all time, one of the films I have seen the most in my life, this is Steven Spielberg's masterpiece, Jurassic Park. There's no words to describe what I think of Jurassic Park. I've owned many different editions over my lifetime, and very excited to have this one in the collection. This is a part of the Universal Essentials collection, which they make very noticeable here in this bold, font. Luckily, this is kind of a like a J card, so that comes off. But there's this new artwork on here, which is, it's one of those things I'm kind of torn on, because I like just the original, Jurassic Park logo, and I really, if I had it my way, like, it would just be the Jurassic Park logo. You do get a nice, hard box here, and this is a Steelbook edition. And yeah, it's got the T-Rex featured on the Steelbook. It's a really cool looking Steelbook, but then you get some extra goodies included here as well, as you do in the Vacation set as well. But Steven Spielberg's Jurassic Park, it's one of the best movies ever made. All right, moving right along, let's shift over our titles here. All right, we'll start at the top and just go down on this one. All right, so first up we have a 4K Steelbook here, a film I've never seen, but I have been meaning to see for many years, and it just felt like the right time to buy it. This is the 45th anniversary limited edition Steelbook. This is a UK release of Battlestar Galactica. So again, this is a dual format release here, and yeah, really cool looking artwork here on the Steelbook. Not much to say because I haven't seen this film, but kind of a one of those sci-fi films from I believe this is from the 70s, and obviously the whole Star Wars craze, and there's Star Trek, and somewhere in there fits Battlestar Galactica, and it's just something I've never watched, and so I'm going to be happy to fix that now and watch Battlestar Galactica for the first time. Again, kind of shifting things over here. Okay, next up, the only other 4K Steelbook I have here. This is another blind spot for me of a 90s action film starring Sylvester Stallone and John Lithgow, I believe is the heavy here, the bad guy in this one. And this is Cliffhanger. And this is a release here in the States, so this does have 4K Blu-ray, and you do get your digital code here. For whatever reason, this is a movie I've always been aware of, but have never seen. And again, felt like the right time to pick this one up. Let me know in the comments, especially on these that I, say I've never seen. Let me know your thoughts on these films if you've seen these. Because I know there's people in the community, like with Cliffhanger, have definitely seen Cliffhanger, so I would definitely love to know your thoughts. But cool Steelbook release here with the kind of the original poster concept, poster artwork here. And then you do get some extra features there, but again, studio releases are usually pretty sparse with the extras. Next up on 4K, this is the 4K slipcover edition. This is another one that hits the mark of one of my favorite films of all time. This is my favorite performance from Jim Carrey. Favorite performance of his career for me. This is The Truman Show. An absolutely spectacular film. I'm really excited to revisit this one. It's admittedly been a little while since I've seen it, but it is still my favorite performance of his career. This movie never fails to make me cry. There's a specific part in this film that just absolutely wrecks me every time. But just really well made, just spectacularly acted film. I love the cast here. And this is from 1998. It's hard to believe that this movie is over 30 years old. Sorry. Let me go back and do my math. It's not 30. Not yet. Coming on 30 years here pretty soon. But anyways, 1998. And yeah, you get the 4K Blu-ray and digital code. We have the slipcover edition here. I won't try to do any more math in this video. Sorry about that. All right, next up, interesting note to make here. So I have a slipcover edition of one of my favorite 80s movies. This is Jaws 2, the 45th anniversary edition. Let's see. So interesting note here is there is a Jaws 2 kind of a rigid box steelbook edition, and I don't know what like the supply on this one. I mean, it was a really limited release, and then there were retailers that were going to be getting them, Orbit DVD being one of those, and stock on it kind of went haywire, and Amazon US ended up getting some. This was a UK release, but they had it listed for $95, something like that. Long story short, I have the slipcover edition here, which admittedly I kind of like better because it has the original poster art here, which the rigid box edition that I'm talking about, it is cool because it has the lenticular cover on the rigid box, which would match the Jaws 4K release that we got here in the States, that lenticular cover. But the steelbook inside, I was less than enthusiastic about the design on that, and you just can't mess with the original poster artwork, in my opinion, and that's exactly what we get here. So I ended up, deciding to go with the slipcover edition as opposed to shelling out way too much money, for the rigid box edition. I don't know, maybe at some point if there's one that, I can find for really cheap, I doubt that's going to happen, but it just wasn't worth it to me in the end to pay the price that was kind of being asked on that one. And okay, here we go with the math again. I said this is one of my favorite 80s movies, but if this is the 45th anniversary edition, then this was in the 70s, so forgive me, guys. But I love Jaws 2. I think it's a great part of the Jaws franchise. I really do like Jaws, obviously Jaws, and Jaws 2 and 3 I think are really fun. Revenge, it's got its moments, but yeah, take it or leave it. Next up, we have a release here from G-Kids, who they do a lot of anime releases. My Studio Ghibli collection, I have all the G-Kids releases, Studio Ghibli releases, and this is an animated film by Alberto Vasquez that G-Kids put out, and it is Unicorn Wars. I am really interested in this from an art direction standpoint. The story seems really interesting. I went and watched a trailer, And boy, did it grab my attention. As the review here says, beautiful and hypnotic, horrifying and nightmare-inducing. So there is the details on the back there. This is a film I'm really interested in, obviously, because I bought it. But just from an art direction standpoint, and being such a huge fan of animation, this seemed like something I could not pass up on. So I went ahead and picked this up, and happy to have that. All right, next up we are into Scream Factory with some heavy hitters here. This is the 4K Ultra HD Collector's Edition of Evil Dead. So now the only film that I don't have, I guess, is Evil Dead Rise, which I haven't seen yet. I need to check that out on streaming, and then I'm figuring we'll most likely pick that one up. But boy, this one still hits. Evil Dead, I watched this again. It had been a little while. I watched this again relatively recently, and man, this one still gets me. There's some really some sequences in this film that are bone chilling. But yeah, I mean, this is a winner. Directed by Fede Alvarez, and there's he's got some great films in his filmography. Don't Breathe. Yeah, really happy to have Evil Dead. Really cool slipcover here on the Scream Factory edition and on 4K. We have two more Scream Factory editions here on 4K. One of my favorite horror films of all time. I absolutely have a blast with this every time I watch it. This is the 4K Collector's Edition release of Creepshow. And then same art here. I think there's reversible art if I remember right, but I have the original poster art here, which again, you can't mess with the original poster art. Love it. Love, that they just went with that here with the cover. But this one is, packed with extras, and this is a new 2023 4K scan from the original camera negative. So I'm very excited to see what this looks like. And the other 4K release from Scream Factory that I picked up, I revisited this one again recently to kind of, I've seen the film before, but just to kind of solidify, whether or not I wanted to bring this into the collection. And I had a really good time with this. I really like it. It's one of the summer camp 80s horror films, and this is The Burning. Yeah, had a blast with this one, and in fact, it was the announcement for the release of this 4K that made me want to go revisit it, and again, see if I wanted to pick it up, and really glad that I did. Looks like we got a 2-disc set here. 4K and Blu-ray. Again, a new 2023 4K transfer from the original camera negative. Sorry, guys. Boy, sometimes what do people do this little trick? Okay, maybe. Anyways, yeah, really excited to have The Burning on 4K from Scream Factory. Next up, we have, we're jumping into a couple of Kino Lorber titles. This is on Blu-ray, one of my favorite film noir titles, Glenn Ford, Gloria Graham, and Broderick Crawford. Film noir royalty. I mean, I love those three. This is, and it's directed by Fritz Lang. I've seen this film before, love it. This is Human Desire, 1954, black and white, obviously, and comes in at a runtime of 91 minutes. One of those nice, 90 minutes or so, or a little bit less even, is where a lot of film noir titles come in at, and man, easy runtime to get through, and always, here, just a really engaging story. This does have a special feature, Terror and Desire, actress Emily Mortimer on Human Desire, and then you get a theatrical trailer. There's the back on that one. Okay, Here we have a 4K release from Kino Lorber, and this is just a spectacular film. I do have the Criterion release right here in front of me. The Criterion release of this on Blu-ray, I will be holding onto my copy of that because of the supplements that are included. But this is Robert Mitchum and Shelley Winters in The Night of the Hunter. If you have not seen this film, honestly, drop what you're doing and go find a copy, streaming or otherwise, and watch this film. It is spectacular. Every time I watch it, I'm drawn more and more into this film. And this is notably the only film directed by Charles Laughton, who I love on screen, great actor, great director, but this is the only film he ever directed. This is a brand new HDR Dolby Vision Master from a 4K scan of the 35mm original camera negative, so great source there on that scan. Very excited to see how this looks on 4K. And this does come with a few extra features. We get an audio commentary by novelist and critic Tim Lucas, which is always great. Tim Lucas is awesome. Isolated music and effects soundtrack, Love and Hate, filmmaker Ernest Dickerson on The Night of the Hunter, Little Lambs, actress Kathy Carver on The Night of the Hunter, Hing Hang Hung, artist Joe Coleman on The Night of the Hunter, and then a theatrical trailer. So there's the back on that one. 1955, runtime of 93 minutes. Just an absolute classic. Next up, we're jumping back into the world of, I believe this is an Italian, I believe this is an Italian film. Anyways, this is from 88 Films. This is Burial Ground on 4K. Yeah, sorry, just trying to see. Yeah, in English and Italian. Yeah, so this is an Italian horror film. I mean, first of all, the cover is just amazing on this one, and this kind of seemed Fulci-esque. That's what really drew me in, so definitely going blind on this one. I hope to have a great time with it. We'll see what happens, but just kind of more of a gut feeling on this one that I wanted to pick up. So, yeah. And this feels kind of on the hefty side. Anyways, trying to see if it showed maybe what was... Yeah, it's a limited edition slipcase, an A3 fold-out poster, and then you do get booklet notes. So there is a little bit more, included in here than just kind of a standard release. Next up, we have 3 titles from Eureka. This is part of their not all 3 of these. This is the only one of the 3 that is a part of the Masters of Cinema series. This is a film by Kinji Fukasaku. This is Samurai Reincarnation. 1981, runtime of 122 minutes on this one, and this is a Sonny Chiba film. And yeah, spectacular fantasy epic from Kinji Fukasaku, Battle Royale. Samurai Reincarnation is an ultra-stylish samurai showdown from one of Japanese cinema's greatest innovators. Really cool artwork on the cover on that one, and I'm just bonkers about the, kind of all the kung fu films that Eureka has been producing over the years. Next up, again from Eureka, this is part of their classics line. No, this is also Masters of Cinema, I apologize. And this Samurai Reincarnation was number 277. This is number 278. This is Tadashi Imai Revenge. And let's see, 1964. And runtime on this one is 103 minutes. Again, really great art direction there on the cover. And the last one from Eureka. Yep, last one from Eureka. We have Ken Takakura in Golgo 13, a film by Junya Sato. Funny enough, what I know Golgo 13 from most is from the NES. Growing up, we had Golgo 13 on our system. So that's just immediately what my mind flashed to. But this is the first adaptation of the long-running manga series by Takao Saito. Director Junga Sato cast Ken Takakura, who was the original inspiration for the character, as the mysterious and stoic killer for hire who always completes his assignment, usually with his signature scoped M16 rifle. So this seems right up my alley. Excited to see an adaptation of Golgo 13 that's not a video game. So, and then you get some, the limited edition slipcover, and then I believe there's a booklet, an essay inside on that one as well. All right, moving back to Arrow Video, we have 3 slipcovered editions here. This stars Isaku Matsuda, and this is a game trilogy. This has the Most Dangerous Game, the Killing Game, and the Execution Game. This is another kind of Hitman type trilogy here. Made at the end of the 1970s, Toru Murakawa's game trilogy launched actor Yusaku Matsuda as the toy tough guy for a new generation, the definitive screen icon of the 1980s Japan, until his career was tragically cut short by cancer at the age of 40 following his Hollywood debut in Ridley Scott's Black Rain. Interesting. But yeah, it says here, an ice cool hitman of few words, a steely trigger finger, and a heart of stone. I mean, that's just endlessly intriguing to me, that little blurb there. But kind of being a Hitman type film, this one immediately grabbed my attention, and it's a trilogy, so you get a few films here. 89 minutes, 92 minutes, and 100 minutes respectively. And yeah, happy to have the game trilogy. All right, next up, again from Arrow Video, we have I think this is a Kung Fu. Yeah, so this is directed by John Woo, and has Jackie Chan and Sammo Hung. This is Hand of Death. So this is very early John Woo. I'm trying to see if I can get a year on here. Runtime of 97 minutes, but this is very early John Woo, and really looking forward to jumping in on this one. Hadn't heard of this one until it was announced. There we go, 1976, and yeah, so just excited to see an early career piece, and then obviously some very familiar names in here on the cast list. All right, in our last slipcover edition, and then we're on the home, the home stretch here. This is another one from Arrow Video, starring the great Tom Skerritt. This is Fighting Back. So this comes in at 96 minutes. The streets of Philadelphia are unsafe, but John D'Angelo has a solution. Thieves, pimps, and pushers, beware. He's declaring a personal war on crime. From the director of Alligator and the producer of Death Wish comes Fighting Back. Again, one that just sounds really interesting. I like the premise. And I really like Tom Skerritt as a director. So this one was calling my name. So I went ahead and picked that one up. All right, again, on the home stretch here. Okay, let's go with Indicator first. This is a limited edition release of an Edward G. Robinson film, also starring Gail Russell and John Lund. This is the limited edition release of Night Has 1,000 Eyes. Heath over at Serial at Midnight had some good things to say about this in his review, and I'm a big Edward G. Robinson fan, so this is one that I kind of knew immediately when it was announced that I would be picking up. Very much looking forward to that. So this is based on a 2021 restoration from a 2K scan. But there's a look at the back there, what's included. Okay, now we have a couple Severin titles here. These are standalone, no slipcover, no fancy anything here, just kind of a standard release. But this is Extraterrestrial Visitors. Yeah, this is, so both this and the next one are Italian films. Obviously capitalizing on the success of E.T. We have Extraterrestrial Visitors. I hear this is a, so good, it's so bad it's good type of energy to it. And so I'm all about that. I have a fun time with those types of films. So Extraterrestrial Visitors. Next up, we have Alien from the Abyss. Perhaps one of Margheriti's best films. I don't know, we'll have to see. Obviously, this is, capitalizing off of Alien, but another one that just looks like it's probably going to be a really good time. So yeah, not much to say on these because I haven't seen them, but definitely seem right up my alley. I've heard endless good things about this release from Ignite Films. This is the 4K release. Sorry, those I was looking because those are the last two I showed you are in black cases, but those are Blu-ray. This is a 4K release from Ignite Films of Invaders from Mars. Yeah, so this is a runtime of 73 minutes. So this is from 1953. I hear the restoration on this is just spectacular. And I like 1950s sci-fi very, very much. Sci-fi, monsters, robots, aliens, all of it I love from the 1950s. So definitely had to pick this one up. And the last two we have here are from the Warner Archive collection. First up, I am a lifetime fan of Looney Tunes. Here we have Looney Tunes Collector's Choice Volume 1. This comes in at 142 minutes. There is the back, so you can read up on that. Just a one disc set here, but yeah, 142 minutes of runtime. And yeah, as stated here, it's intended for the adult collector and may not be suitable for children. These are unedited, censored Looney Tunes shorts. So definitely, being volume 1 here, definitely looking forward to continuing volumes on that series. And last but not least, we have another Warner Archive collection release of Hey There, it's Yogi Bear. I don't have any other Yogi Bear in the collection, so really happy to bring this one in. I do have fond memories of watching Yogi Bear on TV from time to time and in syndication growing up, and yeah, happy to have this. I'm not aware of this specific show, Hey There, it's Yogi Bear, but it's animation. I love animation from Warner Brothers, Hanna-Barbera, that end of things, and so this has the pedigree for me for sure to be something that'll be really enjoyable. So another one disc release here, and this comes in at a total runtime of 89 minutes. And I apologize. So this is Yogi's first full-length feature. So this is a feature film, and yeah, the runtime is 89 minutes. My apologies. Yeah, definitely have not seen this before, so I'll be probably popping this one in pretty soon. And that does it. That is our stack of releases from Orbit DVD. That brings us to the end of episode 8. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you have any thoughts on any of these releases? A lot of spectacular stuff here that I'm very grateful to be able to add to the collection, get these on the shelf. But let me know if you have any thoughts on any of these releases, or if there's any other films you want to talk about. I'm always excited to continue the conversation in the comments section. If you're new to this channel and you like talking film collecting, if you like watching unboxing videos, things of that nature, I invite you to hit the subscribe button, the like button, and finally the bell icon, as that will notify you when I upload new videos in the future. And until that time, I hope you were able to watch, a lot of great films.